It has been called the largest mass migration in human history outside war and famine. Over 20 million people were displaced and up to 1 million lost their lives. Families found themselves uprooted from a land they had inhabited for generations. Starting in August 1947, they had to now make their way through what had become hostile territory and cross new borders, dividing lines that had been arbitrarily drawn. When the geographic details of the new borders trickled in, law and order rapidly broke down. There were large-scale looting and massacres based on religion. Women were raped and children killed. The partition of India brought along horrors that left a newly independent India devastated. In the run-up to partition, while the Muslim League was adamant about the creation of Pakistan, there were powerful voices against it. Mahatma Gandhi said that Hindus and Muslims were sons of the same soil of India. They were brothers who therefore must strive to keep India free and united. But Gandhi was defied as the Congress agreed to the Muslim League's demand for a separate nation after much resistance. It was a demand that had taken concrete shape at the Lahore session of the Muslim League in 1940. During his presidential address there, Muhammad Ali Jinnah had said, "Muslims are a nation according to any definition of a nation, and they must have their homelands, their territory, and their state. We wish to live in peace and harmony with our neighbors as a free and independent people." Until the first half of the 1940s, the demand for separate statehood for the Muslim-majority provinces of northwestern India was limited to political debates and negotiating tables. But when the Muslim League saw that the creation of Pakistan did not find easy acceptance with Indian political leaders or the British, Jinnah announced a nationwide protest. 16th of August 1946 was declared Direct Action Day and Muslims were asked to suspend all businesses. Rallies and meetings were to be held all over the country to explain the League's resolution. What followed has made historians trace the origin of partition to a single day. After that, the division of the country seemed inevitable. On the 16th of August in Calcutta, against an existing backdrop of communal tension, the direct action or general strike took on a violent character and riots broke out. Though the rampage was started by the League, the main victims were the Muslims of the city, as they were outnumbered by their Hindu adversaries. Within just 72 hours, more than 5,000 people lost their lives, and 1 lakh residents were left homeless. Retribution followed as this prompted a wave of rioting in Noakhali, a district in eastern Bengal where Muslims were overwhelmingly in the majority. Hundreds of Hindus died in the violence here. From Bengal, the riots soon spread to Bihar and United Provinces, and finally and most savagely to Punjab. Fear, hatred and distrust were palpable across the subcontinent. This gave a fresh impetus to the Muslim League's demand for a separate nation. The rising communal fury forced the Congress to accept partition. Even the British believed that the creation of Pakistan was warranted for a peaceful and quicker transfer of power. In order to determine exactly which territories to assign to each country, in June 1947, Britain appointed Cyril Ratcliffe to chair 2 boundary commissions, one for Bengal and one for Punjab. But drawing the boundary proved to be extremely contentious and created an overwhelming refugee crisis in the newly constituted dominions. Millions of people made their way across the line that divided the subcontinent into 2 new nations. Families were torn apart, hundreds of thousands were massacred in communal violence, and millions were rendered homeless. And so, rising out of the ashes of partition from irreconcilable political divisions, a new India was born.